All right, now to our first conversation. As the year draws to a close, Nigeria's travel industry, well, it's gearing up for the festive season, with the country's economy showing signs of recovery for the third quarter. Travelers are expected to take advantage of the holiday period to explore local and international destinations. Well, let's explore the December domestic and foreign travel demand outlook in Nigeria. And join us for that, we have Mr. Gbenga Onitilo, the Vice President B2B at Wakana, joining me right here in the studio. It's great to have you. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Larry.
Yeah, so I guess that Christmas feeling, I don't know if it's there, anymore, because as a kid, I remember back then, once you get into the Ember month, you start to feel it. You start to smell Christmas.
Yeah.
I've not felt that in a long time. I don't know if that's the same experience with you.
Well, it's the same experience with us. We've been feeling it in the travel market because as way back as September, you've seen a bit of demand on local travel. That people booking forward bookings as far as December. You have pricing going up because demand and supply issue kicked in. So you have a lot of people doing group bookings, traveling all across Nigeria, regional travel and domestic, more of it. International travel seems to have slowed down a bit because of high pricing, then also visa restriction issues. But presently right now, I can tell you for a fact, there's a high demand on domestic travel and regional travel all across airlines in Nigeria.
Right, and I'm wondering, because we're always looking forward to that, dirty December, where we have some of them out there that just got back, coming into the country, and we have some going out, for the holiday. So what trends are you seeing?
Okay,
so far?
The trend we'll see, you will have a lot of arrivals from places like the UK and the US, looking at exchange rates playing a lot of factor in the market. So they have that advantage, spending ahead of the pound makes 30 December fun for them. And compared to us, on the other side, that inflation affects buying power, spending power, and also it has impacted on pricing of tickets. Because you and I know very well, as of last year, December, exchange was at about 800 and something. Now it's over 1,700. So when you look at that, you're looking at Naira devaluation over 82%. When you look at that, it impacts capacity to buy, capacity to spend. Then don't forget, people are planning January, school fees, rent, a whole lot of things. So 30 December, people have to play it smart. So that's why a lot of people are planning domestic travel. So the benefit factors of these will be the hotels, the hotel industry in Nigeria. You have a lot of demand, room nights scaling up at the moment because you have a lot of shows, plans for December, a lot of entertainment, festival spread across Lagos, Abuja, Jos, you have Calabar. So there are a lot of travels going on, and the people that will benefit more are all the regional and local travelers.
Right, and so the December might be dirty, but not as dirty as some.
I can guarantee it's going to be very dirty.
It's going to be very dirty.
It's going to be very dirty.
Okay.
Because one of the demands I've seen coming from bookings, requests from people in corporate travel business, planning end of the year party, a whole lot of it's going on right now. So there's a heavy demand on domestic travel.
Right.
So everybody just needs to position themselves to be able to benefit from that.
And I can imagine, with the weakness of the Naira, I'm sure, in your industry, where you see weakness, for the Naira, it's going to definitely impact the business.
On the other side, there are two sides to it. There's the side where you have all through the year, you've seen corporate business growing in bounds because the business people will definitely travel. As the economy begins to recover for the first time, great recovery, over 3.5% recovery. If that continues into January, you're going to see a bit more demand in terms of international travel because now people will have more capacity to spend. The businesses will have more capacity to plan around all their logistics because now you have a lot of foreign investment coming in the finance, oil and gas, fintech space. So when you have all those kind of things happening and the pressure on the Naira begins to reduce, knowing fully well air flight services is impacted, it's controlled basically by dollar. When anything happens in dollar, it impacts the business. So you are talking about buying of spares, you're talking about pricing of fuel for aviation, everything is premised on dollar. So any impact on devaluation on the Naira, impact on the dollar, it affects the pricing on tickets.
Right, and we did hear from the central bank governor. He did say the Naira has been quite stable since June.
So for us, selling tickets, I can't say fully it's been quite stable. It's been a bit inconsistent because You have the pricing. In a week, you got pricing modulation close to about 3 or 4 times, even in a day. That you are paying for a ticket of 1.7 million, and you didn't pay as when you're supposed to pay. As at the time you're now paying, it has increased by another additional 10 naira. 10 naira has impacted, and then when you factor that on millions that you're paying, you increase the price. So it's not really been stable over in a couple of months. It's spiked up, but we're looking at all the outlook that have been talked about for January. If it comes to be, we're able to stabilize. I think we'll have more demand for travel. And don't forget what IATA is also saying. Africa is the ground where they play for travel. That's where you have the best time to make money. Is in Africa. That's where you can get the best yield.
Right, and looking at domestic travel, so far we know the airfares are really high, at this point, and we've had calls from some Nigerians that, okay, you know what, we want to also use the roads at this time, but you now have, the insecurity issues. How would you say it's playing out right now? We've seen improvement, on that side of the travel.
I'm talking about road travel now.
Yes.
Road travel, I think there's a bit of improvement if you see now. You see, when you look at all the brands that run, the number of vehicles you see on the road moving. When you move at night, you see them moving at night. So because if the consumer capacity to purchase international travel, because international travel, let's just be frank with ourselves, international travel is the upper echelon, is the top of the pyramid. It's not for everyone. What percentage of the population do travel international? Maybe 5 to 10% of the general population who will do that. And it's the same thing all over the world. But the most effective one we have to develop are the likes of road transport, rail. Those are the things we need to enhance, because that's where you have the mass population playing in. And if we don't look for a way to subsidize those sectors, the thing is about subsidizing the sector. What kind of waivers, tax relief you're going to give to the players? Those are the things that determine how affordable road transportation. Then we talk about insecurity as well. So what are we going to do? Are we going to empower the states? State legislation that is going to help the state to be more focused on policing. Because what we have is the true federalism we have in terms of policing, I don't think it's going to be more effective for us. We have to start looking at the devaluation of power to the states. That's what's going to ensure that we have great security across all of Nigeria.
Right, and looking at this new administration, we would have a new Minister of Transport. What are you seeing so far from the Ministry of Transport? Have you seen some, initiatives that are boosting the industry?
Some of the initiatives we've seen is talking about the CNG issue. We've not seen how much of impact that has done. So if you are looking at that and you're not looking at mass transit in terms of having more buses on the road. So but the funny thing is how much of road is motorable in Nigeria, if you're going to look at that. So we should be looking at how we are going to develop our rail system. The most powerful one, those are what the likes of China, Ethiopia, all these countries have been able to do. One of the most key components that we have to develop beyond road. If that happens, that you can connect all the inner cities into each other, then it saves a lot of travel. Now that you're having trains going as far as 526 km/h in the likes of Japan, so I can be here going to Abuja in 2 hours or 3 hours, you're in Abuja. So those are the things I think in the infrastructure development we're going to do. I think it's more for me. I think we should invest more in rail, find private sector partnership that's going to make that work, because government can actually fund it. We have to start looking at who are we going to partner with. Is it China? Is it India? We have to go Japan, people that have the capacity to do all this connect, that have done it all across the world. That's what we should be thinking about, beyond road transportation.
Beyond road transportation.
Rail transport, for me, seems to be one of the safest. One of the most safest that you can talk about. And when you're doing that as well, you have to connect it to the ecosystem of road transportation. Because when you look at what is happening in the UK, for example, it's one of the most sophisticated train systems in the world, but you have it connected to every bus terminal. There's no bus terminal you're looking at that your train station is not connected to. So those are the things we have to start looking at. It's a complete ecosystem.
And I'm sure you're optimistic about 2025. I want to believe.
2025, if you don't keep your hopes high, I wonder what else you will do. We have to keep it high.
We have to keep it high. Thank you so much. It was great having you. That was Mr. Gbenga Onitilo, the Vice President, B2B at Wakana. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll take a quick break now. When we come back, we'll head straight to the markets. That's in a moment. Just stay with us.